Alright, today we're going to have a quick update on how this new rabbit cage setup has been working for us. So coming up next. So, if you saw my first video, you'll notice Jujubee is back. We still need to buy her one of the metal feeders. Order another one of those. And now Honey Bunny is over there for breeding. Problem we had with the cage. Now, this is where I had an I told you so moment with my husband, who was very kind and nice enough to help me build this, since the baby is very needy and requires my attention at all times. But he was stating, well, what's your rush? We have such and such time before we're going on our trip. And I wanted to be able to see how this functioned and if it was a success before we went on our trip, so that if I needed to alter anything. So lo and behold, you'll notice how clean it is underneath there, meaning nobody's pooping out where they're supposed to. Instead, they're pooping inside. Now, there was no hay in here yesterday. I put that in there as kind of a, oh crap, let's hurry and try to stop this because that urine's gonna freeze, and I already tried to get the poop out of there with little luck because it's all frozen. We had a pretty warm day today, so I can try today. But yeah, every one of them pooped inside and filled it up full of poop. Mama here is the only one that did start pooping outside of where she's supposed to, and as I suspected, they started pooping in the corner where the wood is. So, not a huge deal. I can scrape that. And it is going and falling once it reaches under the 2x4. It is falling underneath onto the ground. So, I know, kid, I hear ya. I hear ya. So that was a bit of a disappointment. We immediately started rocking the holes so that they couldn't go inside, and I'm hoping to train them that they need to potty outside and that the inside is meant for having their babies. She's already really been trying to get into there. She hasn't had a chance to poop in hers yet, so I'm hoping she learns right off the bat that she needs to poop outside. So I will have to give you guys an update shortly to see if that works. I checked the weather. We've got Miss Honey Bunny in there now. But checked the weather and made sure that it wasn't going to get too cold tonight, so they'll be fine just outside. It's not supposed to snow, and it's supposed to be at least 20 degrees at night. So yeah, we'll check back here shortly. So it's been a few weeks, and of blocking the rabbits out of their shelters, and you can see that's definitely got them pooping where they need to be. Jujubee, she didn't get blocked out for too long. She actually moved the rocks that I had placed there, and she did well. She didn't potty inside, but I think I know why. She had a litter right there, and something else I learned with this style of boxes, that's a lot of space to have a litter in. So when I noticed she had pulled hair and looked inside, a couple of the babies were on the ground and starting to freeze, so we put some rocks in there to make a little nest, and they've been just fine since then. So we've had mixed results with blocking them out and then unblocking it. If they're pregnant and about to give birth, see, she's had her litter in there, then they don't potty in here. Problem is that their babies are going to. That's another problem I didn't quite foresee. So we just bred Mama, so we still have her rocked out, and we'll remove it when she's about to give birth, or if we're gonna get nasty weather. If it's supposed to storm, I let them in. So Chinchilla here has been one of the ones where I've unblocked it. She should be 2.5, almost 3 weeks into having been with our buck. So if she's been bred, she shouldn't have been pottying in there, but last snowstorm she did. So this setup definitely has its flaws. We'll deal with it. I just need to be extra diligent on cleaning it. Evidently there's a reason that rabbits are in just plain old wire cages. So I was trying to be nice and get them a little bit better accommodations. But part of that comes from them not being spayed or neutered either. I also thought putting them side by side, they'd be happy to have a buddy, but these two in particular were stomping at each other, and that might be part of the problem too, is they tend to want to mark their territory and are very territorial. So it's funny how aggressive they can be with each other, because we bought Jujubee, Honey Bunny, and Chinchilla all at the same time, and was kind of in a pinch on getting their cages all good to go. So we stuck them all in the same pen, and that worked out for about 5 minutes because they started nipping at each other immediately. So for some reason they are very good with calcifer. Because Jujubee, she's our first one to finally have a litter. Winter we were not getting any litters. But what we were doing is putting a doe one at a time in here with calcifer, leaving her in there 2 weeks, then switching over to the next doe. And obviously wasn't seeing any babies with that, but ever since we hit about mid-February, that's when Jujubee's date would be. Honey Bunny gave birth 3 days later. When we put Mama in there, she took right away and accepted the buck, so she should definitely be bred too. So it's Chinchilla that's up in the air. She should give birth in about 1.5 weeks, and so I'll unblock that rock from her area just in time to be able to make a nest and such. But she was one of the ones that was in with calcifer for 2 weeks, so anywhere within that 2 weeks she can give birth. So we'll see. Depends on how quickly she accepted them. But that's kind of how this setup did overall. I like it, but it kind of depends on what rabbits you have in there. Some are persistent on peeing inside, and others, it seems to be when they're pregnant, they will not potty inside and leave it for kindling and stuff. So, but that's that for this video. We'll see you for the next one.